Hello and welcome to Sunday Drivers Grand Prix Legends Long Play. My name is Jack Cobourn, and today we're tackling the first non-championship race of the 1965 season, the Cape Southeaster Grand Prix, held at the Killarney Circuit just outside Cape Town, South Africa. This race was held on January 9th, 1965, about a week after the first race of the World Championship season at East London. This round was not a round of the South African Drivers' Championship, but it did feature many of the top South African drivers of the era. Originally won by Paul Hawkins in his Brabham, I hope to actually take the win here today, but let's get into the training session first. Alright, so as we pull out onto the pits, let's talk about the circuit itself. Built in the post-war period, probably around 1951, the Killarney Circuit was expanded in 1960 to its current 2.03 mile length to accommodate the 1500cc Formula One cars of the era. Sterling Moss won the first race in 1960, driving Rob Walker's Formula 2 1500cc Porsche, and the track became a popular course for the South African Drivers' Championship up until the series' demise in 1986. This track has fallen from international ability to South African local obscurity, and its moments in South African local racing are popular, especially in touring cars. If you can ever find the Stonic Group N series races from the 1980s, and believe me, they're out on YouTube. I spent most of my college years watching old racing on YouTube. Check out the one from, I believe it's 1986, where 4 Mark II Golf GTI 5 doors are basically nose to tail down the long back straight. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, coming down the main straight to go under the Dunlop Bridge, we're going to hit the brakes for the first corner, cadence brake into the first corner, today called West Bank. I can't find what it would have been called in 1965, but there you have it. Now down the short straight to the second corner, Engine, which I believe is a fuel additive or an engine oil of some sort. Sliding the car through there. Bit too much oppo. Then, of course, to the aforementioned kink. Then down to Shell Sweep, which leads me into one of my favorite complexes in all of Grand Prix Legends. Then we come down to the unnamed fifth corner, a double apex right-hander, which leads us into the sixth corner at Malmesbury, avoiding the hay bales on the inside, and getting a nice little run or a little lotus down the back straight. Through another unnamed kink, down to Cape Town Corner as I get in the gravel. Cadence brake one more time, because I definitely hit the trees in a couple of these test runs. And then back out and onto the weirdly named chicane to end the lap. Alright, we did a 129.6. It's not as fast as my best lap around here. My fastest lap, I hold the track record at about a 127. But that's good enough for this. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll join you in a few moments for the race itself, or the practice session itself. Thank you so much. Hold on. Alright, you joined me for the practice session for the Cape Southeaster Grand Prix. Let's jump right into it. Checking to make sure I have the correct practice and race setups, and here we go. As I drive through the weirdly placed 2D depictions of 60s racing heroes, I pull out onto the track in what looks to be a Lotus 21 one of the last tube-frame cars Lotus ever built. Well, space frame, technically. The 21 was the car that won Team Lotus their first Grand Prix as a team in 1961, when Scotsman Innes Ireland won the 1961 United States Grand Prix. After that race, he was promptly fired, as Jim Clark was seen to be the wave of the future. The 21 was a very popular car amongst privateers, and was replaced by the 24 in early 1962 before Lotus designer and founder Colin Chapman built the monocoque Lotus 25, which moved the goalpost even further. Anybody who bought a 24 was instantly obsolete, angering many privateer owners who did such a thing. Now, the 21 is a nice little bit of kit. If it's not a 24, I'm not quite sure. I think a 24 kind of looks like a 25. And the 25, of course, evolved into the 33, with which I just won the South African Grand Prix. But I like the 21. It's a little neat bit of kit, especially for this race. And as I follow winner in 1965, Paul Hawkins, around the circuit to begin the first actual flying lap, I'm going to come under the Dunlop Bridge, start braking at the 100-meter mark, slide the car in. Now, you can do cadence braking as I did in the training run, or you can just do that, but you better hope your brakes work. Sliding the car down into engine corner, I'm going to slide the car nice and gently in there. I'm actually faster than Hawkins on this lap. And as we come through the kink, I run it a bit wide by accident and get off a line for the shell sweep. Now there's a couple different lines I can take through the kink to make a pass. Now as we come down to the unnamed 5th bend, I'm going to just let the car set itself up for Malmesbury so I can get a nice little run down the back straight and fly out from behind everybody and pass Roush Neiman in his Lotus. Now, many of these drivers appeared in South African Grand Prix racing, not just at the local level, but at the international level, by competing in South African Grand Prix from the first one in 1962 all the way up to about 1974. Alright, I'm in second place behind John Love, but I think I might have just taken pole. And I have. So I'm going to slide the car through what is now known as West Bank, just to get a feel for what this car can do, because it has been a while since I've played this thing. It seems weird to download a car set for one race, but when you want to be as hyper-realistic as possible, it's the only way. So I can set the car up to go around the outside of the kink here and get offline for shell sweep and then just pull down the inside, or I can take the correct line through the kink and pop out the other side and set up for the pass out of the shell sweep. Now, the complex of shell sweep, the unnamed 5th corner Malmesbury, like I said, is one of my favorite sections. It just feels so good to run in a car. And as I catch up to David Prophet, the Englishman, who was a not well-known driver, but made appearances in 1.5-liter Grand Prix racing, I totally just messed that up. But that's okay, we're on pole, and I think what we will do now is move ahead to the race. So I will join you in a second to set up for the race. Thank you. Alright, so you joined me for the race session of the 1965 Cape Southeastern Grand Prix. Let's take a look at the starting grid real quick. Here we go, starting grid. Alright, John Love is on pole, Dave Charlton is second, Paul Hawkins is third, or I'm third, Paul Hawkins is fourth, So here we go. Alright, clutch is in. And we're off for 12 laps of the Killarney circuit. Sliding the car under Doug Serurier, creator of the LDS brand for Lloyd Doug Serurier. It was a Brabham clone. Coming up hard through the kink to try to catch up to Jackie Pretorius, another South African hero of the era. Probably let's save the pass for coming out of Malmesbury. Getting on the throttle a bit easier and sliding him. Now we're going to take off against actual winner Paul Hawkins. His Brabham as we come down the back straightaway. Right, into the first corner, we're going to brake. The tires are at about the right temperature for this. Sliding the apex a bit wide, but that's okay. Braking slightly for engine. Here we go. This is about the 5th time I've had to run this race. Sound problems, computer problems, capture problems have all ruined this for me. And I'm just trying to get Sunday's episode of Sunday Driver to come out. So, let's hope this goes right the first time. Or the first time for this 5th time. Alright. As we come down the back straight. Cape Town corner. Going to just size Paul Hawkins up, but get the car ready for the braking zone. Slide it too close to the inside. Lining the car up slightly to come through the weirdly named chicane corner onto the front straightaway. 10 laps to go, we're sitting in 4th quite comfortably. John Love is just steaming away at this moment in time, but it's okay, we'll catch up. It feels very weird to be driving something that's not my Lotus 33 in this championship, but that's okay. Alright. Now, I think I'm going to be able to close up on Hawkins coming out of Malmesbury. He's definitely going to do something like that, where he just breaks out of the corner and I just tap in back of him. Like, I had the line set up. That was just ridiculous. Now, why didn't it accelerate there? That's kind of annoying. But Love continues to steam away. Alright, Hawkins is less than a second ahead. As we enter the first corner, really going to get on the accelerator a bit earlier so I can get down to engine and spin. Alright, no harm, no foul. Come on, start. There you go. Alright, now we got our work cut out for us. 9 laps over this place should allow me to gain on them. 6 seconds. Yeah, this won't be too difficult. With a clear track, I can definitely really make up time. And I can really focus on how to make this car brake perfectly. And through. It's not going to take much to catch these guys if I just drive correctly. I wonder how the boys are doing over in New Zealand in the first round of the Tasman series. I just really don't like the original Pukekohe layout. That stupid hairpin with the 90-degree right, 90-degree left into a hairpin to start the lap. I like the V8 supercar layout of Pukekohe that was used from 1968 onward. That feels a whole lot nicer. It doesn't feel artificial. I learned a very fun fact. They tried to run the track backwards because Jim Clark was afraid that the final section of that track, the car would end up in the crowd if it took the final corner too fast. But they found it was actually more dangerous to run the layout backwards. Alright, I'm just making a meal of this, aren't I? Personally, it's because I've now run this race 5 times. I really just want this to be this Groundhog Day-esque scenario of me hanging out in South Africa to be just over with so I can get on to New Zealand, where I'll be competing in the Lebanon International next week. I'll much enjoy driving the hideously ugly but way fast Lotus 32. And when you see this car, you'll go, oh yeah, it's hideously ugly, but it's fast. Much rather have my 33, but that's okay too. What's weird is, Dave Charlton has a 33 in this race. I don't know why the creators of this mod gave me a 21 to drive, but that's okay. Now, frankly, I don't know why it's telling me that I'm only 2 seconds behind Hawkins. I'm behind Hawkins by quite a bit. I actually said the wrong number for how far ahead of Pretorius I was as well. 9? Like 8 ahead, but just barely. I'm actually like 4. Alright, coming down to the unnamed 5th, and then Malmesbury, perfect. Getting the line for Cape Town Corner just got to be perfect, and I feel like my controller has kind of just given way, technically. Alright, that was actually the correct gaps board right there. Alright. Woo! And the shell sweep. Alright, let's see if we can salvage a podium from this nightmare. I mean, I could definitely not take my mother's advice and drive my car on the train tracks, but, you know. And that's a reference to Groundhog Day. If you've never seen that film, my God, what are you doing? I think it's Bill Murray's best performance, actually, of, like, that era of Bill Murray, that comedy, late 80s comedy era of Bill Murray. I mean, I think the way he plays Raleigh St. Clair in The Royal Tenenbaums is actually probably my favorite Bill Murray role. Followed closely by Groundhog Day and then Meatballs. Again, if you haven't seen Meatballs, my God. Now, of course, it's an 80s camp, like summer camp comedy. So, honestly, take that with a grain of salt, but, you know. Ooh, Peter DeClaire is off the side of the track. I honestly can't believe we're going to get beaten by John Love in a 1961 Lowline Cooper, but, I mean, good on him. We'll definitely see Paul Hawkins again in Monaco when he crashes his Lotus into the harbor. A scene kind of replicated in the 1966 film Grand Prix. Alright. Sometimes I feel like hanging it out is probably the best option, but I know what's going to happen when I catch the exit of Malmesbury. There we go, I've got the acceleration now. Actually, the cadence brake for Cape, so I can really shove it down inside, stay gravel, line the car up correctly for chicane. Braking ever slightly for the first corner. Getting the better drive off the corner, as they talk about in NASCAR. He's starting to get a little bit sloppy. I think we... Ooh! Inside here. 5, got him. Well, my podium, or my win was ruined, but definitely got a podium on the cards if the card doesn't have failure. Unfortunately, I remember Mika Hakkinen's 2001 season, like, too well to remember what that actually felt like to have failure. Spanish Grand Prix of M1. Ah, killed me. I'm sitting there, I'm 8 years old, I'm all excited, my hero is gonna win another Grand Prix, and then with 1 lap to go, the car just fails him, and I'm like, why? Alright, as we finish this up, this is looking pretty good. Alright, we're gonna be about 15 seconds behind John Love. That's not great, but it'll do. But we're definitely pulling away from everybody else. Actually, we could be less. Did he break? I don't know. He just braked for that corner. His car didn't break. Alright, we'll probably finish about 12 seconds behind. If I didn't spin twice, this wouldn't have been a problem. But there it is. Alright, so 3rd place isn't bad, I'll take it. I would have liked to have had a second win, especially with how this race weekend has gone multiple times. But yeah, so I will come around on the cooldown lap. And yeah, I'll just, quickly pull in the pits. Down the back straight through the shell sweeper. And hilariously, even though this is one of my favorite tracks in Grand Prix Legends, I will be glad not to have to see it again, as I've now run 5 races here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. My name is Jack Cobourn. This has been the Grand Prix Legends Long Play for Sunday Driver. Please do like and subscribe. Watch me continue to fail at driving these cars, even though hilariously I won last weekend at East London. Still have no idea how I did that. It could have all been over so easily when I tripped over Tony Maggs at the end, but it is what it is. Alright. We'll take a look at the results really quick when we get to the end of the straightaway. Where is my pit? There is my pit. Alright. So, I wondered what happened to Jackie Pretorius. He had an accident. Huh. Well, let me save the replay, because I will want to go back and see that. Peter DeClaire had a header brake. And, yeah, it was 16 seconds by Dave Carrollton at the end, who was 4 behind John Love. Yeah, that sounds about right. Or no, actually, it was 12 seconds behind Carrollton at the end. So, yeah, that was that. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. Here are the results again. And have a wonderful week. This has been Sunday Driver. Bye-bye. This has been a presentation of Alsatian Productions. Vroom!